fusion of tradition, culture, class, elegance, and some form of modernity. With the wedding nikah already conducted, it was time for the homecoming and reception of the bride, called Budankai, a ceremony held in High Estate in northern Nigeria. It is an occasion mostly attended by women. For the Kachallas, wives of top military officers, including the wife of former army chief Tukur Buratai, were on ground to grace the occasion. The resounding piece of advice for the couple was for them to be patient with one another.
To have tolerance, understanding between each other, and they should not allow the third party into their matrimonial home. Whatever that occurs between them, they should learn to leave it and to resolve it between the two of them.
People loving, caring, and understanding. Most of all, patient. Happy marriage life.
They should love each other unconditionally. They should respect each other.
For Brigadier General Kachalla, he is optimistic he has prepared his son so well for this phase of life.
I've tried my best to prepare him. He studied outside, first and second degree outside.
Representatives of friends of the couple, with or without marital experience, also have this to say.
The advice I have for couple is to have the fear of God, to love one another.
And I know she's extremely patient in that area, so we don't have issues there.
Go a notch higher, that is to try as much as possible to understand the wife in such a way that he gives her very little reason for her to be patient.
And there must always be an attraction as the couple share with NTA crew what endeared them to each other.
2-3 months we started dating. In the 4th month, I told my dad I've seen a wife. Then he went to Yobe, Fortescue, to go and ask her hand.
And the NTA family, where the groom Usman Kachalla works, was well represented.
And we join in wishing the couple a happy married life. And to some cultural events now, the FCT NYSC coordinator Suleiman Abdul says Cultural Carnival has the ability to change the mindset of core members about the different regions and ethnic groups represented. He was speaking at the 2022 Batch 6 Stream 2 Cultural Carnival at the Kubwa NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp. Rosemary Matadel Bilal brings us the sights and sounds of the events.
In order to expose Nigerian youth to different cultures and languages in the country, members of the National Youth Service Corps Abuja joined its counterparts all over the country to celebrate the Cultural Carnival 2022. The Cultural Carnival, which has become one of the most important rituals by the NYSC that brought together core members from different tribes and religions in order to appreciate the beauty, gains, and strengths of the country in its diversity. FCT NYSC coordinator Suleiman Abdul, Enupe by tribe but represented Yoruba culture, shows oneness. He reminded core members that maintaining Nigerian unity is a collective responsibility, appealing to them to change their mindset and promote unity.
NYSC introduced the Cultural Carnival into the orientation course content to reawaken the cultural consciousness of Nigerian youth.
Some core members who represented different tribes from theirs lauded the initiative.
There is no need for division. We are one.
Wherever you're coming from, your background, just come together and make the peace reign.
Having to present the Baju culture, we have to research more about it, learn more about the culture.
Workplace, different kind of societies. Take a day out and celebrate our culture.
The different dance steps and costumes displays represented the Baju, Tiv, Igbo, Benin, Bagi, Igala, Nupe, Hausa, Idoma, and Yoruba respectively. It could be recalled that Cultural Carnival is one of the major events commemorated on camp during the compulsory 3 weeks orientation course.
NYSC there promoting unity in diversity. Very good initiative. Now, tradition of the indigenous FCT Gbagi people was at its best at this year's Karo Day. Deborah Gazaji, who was at the 7th Annual Cultural Festival organized by the Karo Chiefdom, completes the story.
Regardless of where you have come from, one thing is certain, which is one's identity. The Gbagi people of the FCT, who are by vocation farmers and hunters, no doubt are a typical example of what the African setting depicts. The Gbagi yearly festival in Karo Chiefdom typically presents the people's way of life. Keynote speaker at the event and Commissioner FCT Public Complaints Commission, Ezekiel Dahatu, calls on the indigenous people of the FCT to be deliberate about preserving their cultures. He urged the 858 communities in the FCT, who are made up of 9 ethnic groups, to genuinely uphold love and their customs. The indigenous people requested that the FCT minister approves inclusion of their culture in the school curriculum. Another issue raised are the cultural fiesta. That part of Gbagi culture cherished by many is that aspect of life that shows decency and respect for the elders. Sons and daughters of Karo Chiefdom always look forward to this day, which brings about harmony among the indigenous people of FCT. There was Jepo exhibition, another aspect of the culture of the Gbagi extraction. Amomo and Akakari were the masquerades that displayed at the annual cultural festival.
We apologize for the poor audio quality in parts of that report. However, very interesting culture on display there. Now, traditions and customs are meant to be preserved and transferred amongst the people. These, the youths of Lugbe community of the FCT, are committed to preserving at the maiden edition of their cultural carnival. Charity Zaka was there.
Perhaps one of the effective ways of transmitting cultural norms and values to the younger generation may be by marking a day to reenact them, such as it is being done by the youth and natives of Lugbe in the FCT. The display of the rich cultural heritage of their ancestors, some say, will serve as a reminder on the need for the Gbagi youths to preserve and transfer same to their lineage about who they are and what they must remain.
The only way we can show that, yes, the indigenous of this land are still on ground is when we organize events like this and showcase our culture and showcase our heritage.
With this, our children can be able to sit down, even in the school or in the community or mixing with the friends, and tell them about this cultural festival in Gbagi. The way I'm carrying it now, my head and my ear now is holding the calabash, and now I'm feeling comfortable more than the head.
Stakeholders and traditional leaders emphasize the need to preserve this through education.
Education is a medium whereby we can transmit our cultural values to the young ones. So very, very important. Education, very key to the transmission of culture of the people.
If you look at most of our youth today, particularly the children of coming up today, they don't know most of the culture that has been practiced. And that's why we see it, we sit down and say it is good for us to organize something, such a program like this. So we will let our children know the culture of Gbagi.
Anywhere you belong to, you have to show your identity. And that is why they feel this day today to be the day to celebrate Gbagi cultural and Gbagi identity in Lugbe community.
We organize this with the intention that we want to unify the people together, to also bring the people together, to let them know that Lugbe community youth, they have not forgotten their cultural activities.
The move on sustaining the goal for which the event aims to achieve looks to be uncompromising.
Thank you very much, Charity. And away from culture to entertainment, UK government in talks with organizers of Burna Boy Lagos show towards partnership as 8